The 5 best characters to master in Eternal Return are the 5 characters that can do it all. Hunt, chase, kite, poke, burst, escape, take objectives, you name it. These characters are the most limitless, and even at their worst nerfs, they're still amongst the mid to high tier picks. What you might not expect though is that these are not the 5 most difficult characters to play in Eternal Return, especially number 3. What's poppin' everyone, it's your boy Levi, and if you're looking for the strongest characters to master in Eternal Return, look no further than Adela. Adela is a burst mage at her core, but she's so much more. With one of the highest skill ceilings in Eternal Return, you'll know you're playing against a master Adela when you get hit with a Night Fork combo that requires a protractor to read the angle. Adela's straightforward queen one-shot combo becomes the least threatening part of her kit. Having entirely skill shots, you'll have to be accurate with your abilities. Missing will leave yourself open to being punished with them on cooldown. However, you're just leaving yourself open. You're not dead like most characters. Adela has plenty of outplay potential, and even in dire moments can be turned into your favor. It wouldn't be an OP characters list if it didn't have Sylvia on it. Fun fact, Sylvia has been a top 10 pick on the KR ladder 5 out of the 8 completed seasons of Eternal Return we've had, and one of the few seasons that she's missed, she was only 11. This character is a monster in the right hands, and despite taking some heavy nerfs with losing her wall jump, her initial speed when turning to bike form, and losing the heal on her radar gun, Sylvia players still continue to put up good numbers each season. The skill expression that goes into Sylvia makes her incredibly fun to play as well. Rotating between 7 different spells puts an emphasis on spell rotation and makes sure the right ability is up at the right time. On top of this, she is incredibly safe with very small amounts of the cast that can catch her if she bikes away.
좋다. 좋아요.
You might be surprised to see Jackie on this list. The skill floor for this character is so incredibly low. Jackie makes the list not because of her mechanical prowess or her riveting playstyle. I'm not going to try and make her out to be anything more than she is. She's quite literally the epitome of right clickers. What makes Jackie one of the best characters to master is her use of 4 weapons with distinct playstyles: dagger, two-handed sword, axe, or dual swords. Because of this, she typically always has a weapon type that's in meta or is just flat out strong. Focus on your movement and positioning yourself out of vision and around corners if you're going to pick up this character. You won't have to worry about any mechanical difficulties with your abilities, they're all pretty straightforward. You've heard of the Jack of all trades, master of none? Alex is the Jack of all trades, master of everything character in Eternal Return. Now, unlike the other characters on this list, the state of the meta does kind of affect this character. When Alex's numbers are low, he's definitely in the lower tiers of the ER tier list. Alex's gimmick is that he gains equal weapon mastery across all the weapons he uses at a time. Because of this, it allows him to use shuriken, pistol, tonfa, and two-handed sword without a loss in mastery. You'll have to build multiple weapon types to play this character, and this is a necessary mechanic as Alex gets separate abilities for using a ranged weapon versus using a melee weapon. You'll need at least one of each to swap between. Typically, you'll swap between shuriken and tonfa, and then in certain scenarios when you need to escape or chase, you'll use pistol. 2H is just alternate tonfa. This character is probably the most mechanically difficult on this list, as using your E will have you swap weapons mid-combo. This is already difficult, but you're also an assassin, meaning you have a very small window to kill while you're doing it. Trust me, it'd be a lot easier if this was a tank character. With tons of skill expression, Alex pretty much has a combo or tool for every situation he gets himself into. And speaking of characters that have all the tools for every scenario, Adina is a character that thrives in the higher elos, but is super tough for the low elos. If you've ever seen a high elo Adina player versus your standard normals player Adina, or, let's be real, if you've ever seen my Adina, you'll see a huge discrepancy in skill. Have you heard of the turn your brain off and throw out skill shots till something lands playstyle? This is the turn your brain on and throw out skill shots until something lands. Adina has a ton of tools to work with, but can't always pull out the right tool in the right scenario. Being proficient with constellation patterns is what separates a good Adina from a mediocre Adina, as the masters will always have the right tool at the right time. In the right hands, Adina can go nearly untouchable in a fight, dancing around despite having no dashes and overwhelming her opponent with her incredibly high movement speed. A ton of characters get added to Eternal Return, but these are the ones that have stood the test of time. Let me know down in the comments what character you think also deserves to be on this list. I think you can make a great argument for characters like Shoichi or Celine or even Zahir. These are the best characters to master, but maybe you're still learning the game. If that's the case, you might want a character that's good for new players. Click or tap the screen now and you'll be taken to a video about the 5 best characters for beginners in Eternal Return.